Hello, we're here again.
Or we are
We are here. Yes.
here again. Maybe we
So,
need to go somewhere else next time.
oh, we can do that. Today our topic or the thing that we want to focus on that we should pray for is strength to face temptation, or even asking God to just keep us away from temptation.
Protect us from being tempted.
Matthew chapter 26. I forget the verse.
41.
26 verse 41. Thank you. Um, Watch and pray that you may not enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Um, we're going to be dealing with sin and having enough faith or too little faith, and having to obey God, and temptation and the things concerning all those things every single day. And because of that, it makes sense that we ask Him to help us through those things.
Yeah, I mean, is there ever a single day that goes by that you don't face some sort of temptation? I mean, unless you're like in a coma, or something, you're gonna face
I
temptation
feel like a lot
every
of
day. It
times
seems like.
I don't notice it because it's a lot more of a,
Well, sometimes it's subtle.
yeah,
It's
it's
just.
it's a lot more subtle, or it's something that I feel like isn't even a temptation. Like we've been on a sugar-free diet this entire past month, and I'll just be like, you know what?
Sugar-free is a strong word.
It is a
A
strong word, but I
limited
mean,
sugar diet.
no desserts really,
Yeah, no,
basically. And so just like every
except
now
for
and
when we did have them.
And so like every now and then I'll just be like, man, I want some ice cream, and then I realize
I can't
I,
have
I
any this
can't
month,
I
or
can't have
yeah,
ice cream.
we're
I'm not
staying away
allowed to
from
do
that.
that. And so in this setting, that's a temptation,
Yeah,
basically.
I don't know. I mean,
Well,
not that it's like a sin to eat ice cream. I mean,
but
but
see, it's a
necessarily,
rule that you've made.
but
So
we've
if
made it.
I
Yeah.
do it, then I'm disobeying you, and disobeying parents is sin. So there we go.
What does that do for me though? Because I mean, I made the rule, but I'm not. I mean, I'm not my parent, so
You're
can I
breaking
disobey
your
the rule?
word with God.
Well, I don't know that. I
No.
mean, this wasn't exactly a vow. I
Oh,
mean,
true.
it's not like I said to God, I'm not going to eat sugar this month.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just kind of, we're trying to be a little healthier and
Yeah.
cut back the sugar. Because after Christmas and Valentine's and Easter, it just had kind of gotten a little out of hand.
But the point is, you're going to deal with how much faith you have, how hard it is to be obedient and do the things He wants you to do.
And yet,
And
sometimes they are such little things. It's just like a
mhm,
little doubt, a little, well, do you think that verse really means that? Or, it's just this little whisper in the back of your mind that's like, well, is that really that
yeah,
important? I mean, does it matter?
you can wait to do that for another hour.
Yeah, do that another
Yeah.
time. Don't. And I mean, I found that like I know, oh, I need to call somebody who's sick or something, and I'm like, well, I'll get to that in a little while, and then a little while comes, and I forget about it, and I don't make that call, and I miss that
Yep.
opportunity to do good. James says, to do good and you don't do it, that's a sin.
Yep.
So Satan, yeah, procrastination or things like that, certainly Satan works. And there's so many little
Yeah.
things that he just pushes us a little bit. It's not like he comes up to me every day saying, "Hey, murder somebody." I mean, that's
Oh, He doesn't do that every day for you?
every other day.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah.
Well, usually at night, not during the
I
day.
well, yeah, that's fair.
While you're asleep.
I should probably have a little chat with him about being a little bit more regular with
Mm.
that, because
Well, I mean,
um,
Xander's down there asleep in his bed.
and he keeps the knives in his room too.
He's got knives
Yeah.
right there close by.
But no. So when since we're going to be going through temptations and such thing every single day, and we know that, we can prepare for it. We can ask God, help me get through that, and make the temptations easy for me to face today, because uh, life's rough, and sometimes I need to just be able to let you take care of this.
It's interesting too that in this passage, watch and pray that you may not enter into temptation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just, give me strength when I do face the temptation, but But first of all, watch. That's something we can. That's something we do.
Yes.
Always God gives us something to do.
Yeah.
He saves us. He offers us His love, His grace, and all of these things. But He gives us things to do.
Yeah.
And this is what you watch. Keep your eyes up. Don't let the devil sneak up behind you, or beside you, or even right in front of you while you're not paying attention. And that's a lot of temptations hit us when we're not paying attention.
Yep.
And we get right in there. But then watch and pray that you may not enter into temptation. So he's saying, actually pray that you don't enter in, or it's possible this wording maybe means even watching and praying is the thing that keeps us from entering into temptation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when we're watching, and so, God doesn't tempt us God doesn't tempt us at all.
Hang on a second. Yeah.
The devil doesn't tempt us when we're praying to God. That's not often. I'm trying to remember ever being tempted while I was praying. It's not.
I mean,
it's not the kind of,
you'll have some things like trying to distract you,
yeah.
but as far
maybe
as hey, you should go do this sin right now. Not so much.
Not when your mind is focused on the spiritual things and talking to God about those things.
Yes.
It's a good way to protect yourself from entering into the temptation. Now, you can't just pray 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and never be
Not
tempted.
allowed. Well, it would be allowed, but it's just like
It's not reasonable, because if you did that, then you would actually find yourself in sin, because all you're doing is praying, and you're leaving undone all of the other things that God wants you to do in life.
So it is actually not allowed.
It is not allowed. I mean, even though pray continually, but just not only.
Pray continually, not exclusively.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good way to look at it.
So yeah, watch and pray, and when you pray, ask Him for things that will help you in your spiritual battle, because He is more than happy to help you. He wants everyone to be able to repent and be in heaven with Him, but we have to put forth that effort and try to get there.
Yeah, I think we may have mentioned this maybe back at the very beginning of our studies.
We mentioned something?
Probably. But we may have mentioned this. I don't remember if we mentioned it specifically, but we do want to make sure. I mean, it's been a month, so we can mention it again, right?
Yeah.
It's okay to mention things after a month.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we'll just recycle we'll just go back through the
That'll work.
Yeah.
We won't lose any viewers that way.
Nobody.
No.
Well, we have to have viewers to lose it.
That's fair.
Anyway, so I think we may have mentioned it, but I want to mention it again, that we do need to remember when it comes to prayer, it wasn't our idea.
Mm-hmm.
God said, pray to me. Bring me your concerns. Bring me these things. Ask me for this.
So
Ask me.
You don't have to be worried about, well, what if God doesn't want to hear from me, or what if He's tired of hearing from me, or what if He's this, what if He's that? He's the one that told you to talk to Him. Mm-hmm. So everything you're worried about contacting Him, put it aside.
Just his idea from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. So we need to just do it.
Go with it.
Pray for these things. But yeah, I mean, temptation is such a big one, because it is something. Well, if
we're being honest, every single one of these things that we've said we need to pray for, they're all big ones. Everything that you need to pray for that we list,
but I mean,
is probably going to be in some way or another a pretty big thing.
Right. But I mean, last time we talked about praying for government. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we may think, it's government, and with there's other people praying for that, and it's not. What am I going to do? They're going to do what they're going to do, and we may feel that way.
Ow.
Ow.
There's an armrest there. I hit my elbow on it.
Government often makes you think, ow. But with government, we may not think about needing to pray. With praying for our enemies, if we don't have anybody that's like attacking us or chasing us through a cave, like David had, if we don't have that enemy right there, right then, we may not really be thinking about that right at the time.
Yeah.
But temptation is something that is so pervasive in our daily lives. It's everywhere, all around us, can sneak up on us at the moment's notice. And it's a daily thing where, we don't just go 3 weeks and go, oh, I just realized I haven't been tempted for 3 weeks.
Yep.
And if you do, then you probably just
Yeah.
don't recognize
Might
temptation
wanna
very well.
might want to look at those things a little bit better.
Yeah, the only person I know that's gone 3 weeks without being tempted is the devil himself. I mean, he doesn't need to be tempted because he just already does the bad things, so he doesn't tempt himself. I've really puzzled him.
I might argue that point off camera, but okay.
But
Um,
we know God can't be tempted. But anyway, we as people, we're going to face temptation all the time. We can't fully avoid it. But if there is something that we really struggle with, maybe we do want to ask God, help me avoid this temptation because this one's one that really gets me a lot of times.
Yep. And don't be afraid to do that.
Yeah.
It's in America, we've kind of got the whole, well, I can take care of it. I'll pull myself up on my own bootstraps. But
I'm tough. I can handle it.
As a Christian, there is no shame. There is no problem with asking for help, especially from God. So I think that's everything on this topic.
Well, I'm sure it's not everything, but
no,
we'll call it
for
quits
now.
nonetheless.
Yeah, don't want to have hour-long videos. Maybe they don't want us to have hour-long.
I'm
videos.
sure they don't.
So hope this helped you out in some way. Hope you enjoyed the information that we kind of brought to the table.
And think about it, pray about it, watch out for that temptation.
Exactly.
It's there.
And we hope you'll be back tomorrow for the next video.
Bye.
Bye.